Good morning, everybody. This is Sally with Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works, your Monday vlogger. Today is Monday, January 17th, Martin Luther King Day, everybody. Let's keep the dream alive. And I want to get right to the question. Here we go. Are you still on a diet, or have you changed your life and created a lifestyle? Excellent, excellent question, and different answer based on where you are in your weight loss surgery process. I am 14 and a half months out. I have been at goal for about 3 to 4 months. Since October, first part of October, I really stopped losing. And since then, my goal was to try to maintain for 6 months, to just feel comfortable owning the life after process, as well as I wanted to own the losing process, so that this didn't flip off. You know, when you finish a diet in the olden days, I've reached my goal and I'm done with the diet, now I can do something else. Well, that's not the way it is. This is forever, but you have to incorporate it in such a way it's a part of your life that you never want to stop. You never want to stop making these choices. For me personally, I don't consider this a diet. It is a lifestyle. It is an absolute lifestyle, and actually it becomes a lifestyle the minute you hop off that table. It is a lifestyle. I can't speak from the perspective of people who've eaten their way around their band or figured out how to cheat the system. I can't yet. I am not there. I pray God I won't be there. But having said that, I do not consider this a diet. This is who I am. This is what I do every single day. It affects the choices I make. Having said that, I do not want to say that I am hyper restrictive. I am careful. I watch if anything's going to set me off. I don't want there to be a trigger food like there used to be in the past that would make me want to continue to consume. Before, if I did low carb diets, they were fabulous, but if I started to eat a carb, boom, you could see that monster come back up, that carb monster. I don't do that anymore. I'm very careful about balancing the proteins. Anything I eat that's a carb is going to have a protein with it, things like that. I wanted to throw some things out at you, though, that I thought were really important, and I looked something up on the internet. I wanted to look up the word diet and define the word diet, and this is what I found. A regimen for health reasons. I can own that, a regimen for health reasons. A diet is also the usual food or drink consumed by an organism, person or animal. So yes, I have a diet of a healthy human being who wants to be healthy into her 90s. A diet is also eating sparingly for health reasons or to lose weight. I eat sparingly because I have no choice anymore. Thank you, gastric bypass. And eating sparingly is a good thing. I eat enough, but it's not too much. The act of restricting your food intake or intake of particular foods, absolutely, I can own that too. So if you know, because I restrict sugar, I have a little, but not too much. So in that list that I got off the internet, I am on a diet, but I don't consider that a diet. A diet is a short-term thing you do. That's what we think of it, as a short-term thing we do to get to an end, and then we go back to our normal lives. This is it. This is normal life forever. So, depends on, it's all semantics in the end. It's all how you define the word diet. But I wanted to talk about some other things I looked up. I'm really interested in the whole concept of more of a 90-10. I eat correctly and well 90, 95, 97% of the time. But I give myself that little 3% to 5% when I want to, so I don't feel like I'm in prison. I do not want to be in a prison of any kind, not a prison of extreme exercise, because that's not for me, or extremely restrictive food choices. I have embraced healthy, whole food choices. I embrace natural foods, fresh vegetables, fresh foods, non-processed, generally non-canned. Anything I can eat that comes from as close as it came out of the ground is my first choice. That's not raw, but I don't do processed packaged stuff. I haven't for a long time. But just so you know, that's kind of, I embrace all the good you just don't look at the bad. You don't even entertain the crap that people think makes their life easier because it's quicker. It's not worth it. I'd rather eat the same thing I cooked once a week, which I do, lentils, than have to shorten my life energy dealing with cooking by grabbing a box. I wouldn't feed that crap to anybody in my family, and I'm not going to feed it to myself. Okay, so we're taking that. Think about how a thin person eats. I have a feeling I'm going to get company. I'm making my video, babe. Anyway, how does a thin person eat? A thin person eats, you have to observe how they eat. And I think what's happened for me is I feel I've embraced and become the thin person that I never could be because I really didn't get it. This pouch has helped me transform my perspectives on food, my desire, my need for food, and it's made it easy because you're satiated quickly, okay, or you get sick if you eat wrong. It's a wonderful tool. So now I think of myself that I eat much more like a thin person. And how does a thin person eat? A thin person doesn't eat when they're not hungry. They eat when they have real hunger. They feel the hunger, they satiate the hunger, they don't salivate over in excess, and they just eat when they're hungry and they're done. Or maybe a thin person really likes what they're eating. You could think this is the most delicious, whatever it is you're eating. But when that thin person is full, they stop. They don't go, oh God, this is so good. I just have to have some more. Oh, this is so good. It's delicious. I loved it. I enjoyed it so much. But you know what? I'm feeling that little full spot hit. I'm done. Thank you very much. It was wonderful. Geez, that wouldn't have been me a year and a half ago. Did you ever watch a thin person eat? Again, do they eat when it's time to eat, or do they eat when they're hungry? Eat what you really want. A thin person eats what they really want. A naturally thin person eats what they want to eat. They do not get hung up on carbs or calories or trans fats. If you offer them a low-fat version of cake, they will likely refuse it. Taste is very important to them. Satisfaction is central to their decision making. And you know what? I really get that now too, because I don't try to eat artificially sweetened stuff too much anymore. I'm learning to drink my coffee with either nothing or Truvia. And somebody even told me they put a little honey in their coffee, which you can't imagine, but I actually did try it. It wasn't too bad. So if you're going to have something, have the real deal if you can manage. Most of the time you should do the best you can and not eat sugar. But if you're going to have a little tiny square of something that's the real deal, and that satiates you and satisfies your craving, and you have one little thing, that's great. Better that than eating 10 low-calorie pudding cups, in 2 days. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a matter of finding that satiation and stopping, recognizing it and saying, that was great, thank you very much. I know I will eat again later, so I don't have to worry about someone taking my food away from me forever, so I can relax and go, thank you, you may take my plate, because I know, the famine is not coming in the next 5 minutes. Okay. Thin people do not suffer or have a shred of guilt or shame about their food choices. You will never see them struggle with their food choices at all. They simply know what they want, and that is what they eat. Oh my God, how obsessive compulsive have I been in my life about food? How many of us can say we have issues of OCD having to do with food? If you take your pack off, and we can learn how to organically morph into this other person, which I feel like the surgery has allowed me to have the time to process and change and own the desire for a really healthy body and a longevity of good health and physical activity. Those things have helped me. I have transitioned into a different person. I am not the same person physically. I'm not the same person inside. Not perfect, but I'm not the same person. We have to change the people we were and how our relationship with food completely. And I think if you look at a thin person and see how they deal with food, you'll see they don't have all those hang-ups. Stop eating when you're full. I think we know that one now, because if you don't, you puke. Or you dump. A naturally thin person stops when they're full. They eat slowly enough to allow their fullness cues to register. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm still not a slow eater. I still eat quickly. But with the RNY, when I am full, I am full. And if you eat solid protein, you're full really quickly. And if you eat things like a bowl of lentils, a cup of lentils, I am full. By the time that lentil is done, I am satisfied. 1 cup. Very satisfied. Depends on what you're eating. Yeah, a naturally thin person never ever diets. A naturally thin person would never consider dieting. They think it is silly to be worrying about eating. I'm talking about anything remotely restrictive here, including healthy eating in the traditional sense. When people start eating healthy, it means there are foods they are avoiding. This is restriction and will ultimately lead to feelings of deprivation and binging. Okay, let me tell you what. I feel that way too, which is why I'll have a real piece of chocolate something. I'll still eat sugar-free chocolate, don't kid me. And I eat sugar-free licorice, I won't kid you. And I eat healthy choices, but if I'm going to have a treat, I'm going to have a treat. And I'm going to have a third or a quarter of that piece of cheesecake that when we go out to order something, and I really want that real New York cheesecake, I'll have a third of it or a quarter of it. And I savor it and I enjoy it and I go, that was wonderful, thank you. They say there's a lot of science now behind the whole low sugar, low artificial stuff, artificial fats that continually make you hungry and want to eat more, and so you might want to look into some of that. The bottom line is, thin people don't obsess about food. They live their life. Food is this part of their life, not this part of their life. I think the more we can grow to be like a regular person dealing with feeding our physical need and not with food and not our emotional need with food, the healthier we'll all be. So far so good, knock wood. I wish you all a great day. Try to learn how to own a healthy lifestyle. Be holistic about your choices. Don't be restrictive. Don't be anal. Don't be OCD. Learn to hear your real hunger cues and make healthy choices for a healthy body and longevity. Okay? You guys take care. I'll see you next week. Bye.